Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's not very often I do these videos in the afternoon, but in our last video, we started to do the sticker, or the other half of the sticker for the ship, which is down here, and we need to continue on putting that together. So let's continue on with the stickers on this kit so we can put the next color on. I'm actually really excited about putting the next color on. I'm seeing the colours, I'm kind of liking them, and kind of liking the way the whole camo is coming out. So pretty excited to get this going. So let's continue on with the sticker for the ship. Well, there is our sticker that we finished last time. Now, because I've been having problems putting these on, I'm going to put another sticker over the top, and that should help us. It's not quite right. That should help us keep the sticker straight, and then when we get it on there, we can then peel this one off, and then we should be pretty right. How's that? Yeah, much happier with that. Okay, so we've almost got like a sticker on a sticker. I kind of went a little bit too far there. Maybe we'll just come back a little bit here. I kind of cut that a bit wonky, but it doesn't really matter. What really matters here is the actual sticker itself. I need this side a little bit shorter, just so I can get this up. It doesn't really matter so much about the bottom of this sticker. What really matters is the top. So let's get this sticker up. And I suppose if you really wanted to, you could probably replicate this sticker from here. Okay, so let's get it up. And let's also bring in the ship, just so you can see where it's got to go. So there's the ship in a bit closer. We do know it's this long line here, which would dictate the angle, because there's one, and there's the angle that goes up. And to have about, I don't know, 15, what was that, 15 mil in between here, 10 mil, I don't really know. So anyway, the whole point of that is we know exactly where to stick this on. We need to go about there, level with the top of the ship. Let's see how we go. Just barely touching the ship there. Are we in line? Yeah, pretty close in line. Are we happy with the rest of this? I wish I had done this on the very first sticker, actually. You see me put that on and off many, many times before I actually got it right. Actually, I'm going to call that a little wrong. It is just a little wrong because we need it on the top lip up here. It's pretty close. And how are you going over there? Yeah, pretty happy with that too. How are we going here? If you're not entirely happy, we can take this off, just like that, and you can reset it again. I took it off because it could have gone just a fraction to the right. There you go. Now we can put it on. Nope. Let's lift that just a little bit. Nope. So, could try and get the ship where I want it to be, about there. In line with the top, about there. And continuing this line across the top, about there. Now, with the sticker on top, it's actually easy to put on, far easier than when I put the other ones on, because it keeps it sort of well structured. So the whole point of this was to put the two stickers on and then peel one off, the top one, which is why it's supposed to be underneath this line. If I can get that one out. Oh, if I can put you in the screen would help too. Yeah. And let's keep the bottom one there. Let's take the top one off. Yeah, there we go. Alrighty, that's better. It definitely did help having lots of stickers, because it keeps the stickers kind of in line. And then we peel that off. Yeah. And it may not be exact because there is a bit of a line there, but we can add another piece of tape just to cover that last little piece up. But the majority of our sticker piece is back in line here. Yeah, it looks good. And this is why I didn't worry about this extra here. Comes down the bottom. We do need this side on pretty good as well. You're happy with that? And I might just do that. I might just throw a strip up here later. I was actually thinking to myself, do I want to paint the tops of these in the actual camouflage as well? I don't really know. I'm probably going to say no. But anyway, there's our first one. Let's have a look at the drawing and see how we went. I'll remove some of this stuff. Here's the ship out the way. Let's get the drawing. Well, here is our drawing. Let's see if we can slip the ship in there as well. As you can see, it's kind of like, I don't know what you want to call that. But let's remove that, bring the ship in. Yeah, it's kind of the same thing. If I can, there's the drawing, there's the ship, and that's our blue sticker for this side. That is a little awkward to do on camera, I've got to say. Some of this has all been awkward to do on camera. So there it is as a bit of a close-up. Maybe I can do it the other way around because the ship is, you know, the drawing is on the other side now. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. So what's left? We can do the white and the grey. Let's continue. There is the start of the grey section here in there, and obviously on the sticker as well. Let's slide it along a little more. And there is the end of the white, where the grey will come in afterwards. So we don't really need the grey on there at the moment. And obviously when we spray this colour, you understand what I mean, when we spray this colour, we've got to cover this anyway, so the blue doesn't come on top of here. So I'm pretty happy with that whole rear section. Now what we do need to do is we need to move to the front of the ship now. Just before we do, I'm just going to show you this up very close. You'll see there's a very fine line. Let's go in a little more. Can we go in a little more? Can we? Yeah. You see how these lines are not quite right? They are so close they weren't worth mucking around with. But if we put an extra tape just kind of covering over here and covering that last little piece up, that won't be an issue anyway. But I did want to show you that it's on there. And that line there is squiggly on purpose, of course, and so is this one. It's not squiggly, but it's on purposely done straight. There it is at a distance. I think it's going to look pretty good. I can see, because I know how camouflage works, I can already see how this is going to come out, and I like it. I like it a lot. So that's technically what we would call the rear of the ship, the rear of all the white, the blue, and technically the grey here. So again, with one sticker, or two, if you like, we've almost got all the camouflage done. Let's move to the forward part of the ship. Okay, so we've got a lot of white in there. As you know, we've already got our lines on there, so we need to work out again what is staying and what is going. There is a section all through here and down to here, across and up to this finger that is all staying. So it's going to be a bit of a difficult sticker, this one. And I actually think the whole front of this section is going to be a little difficult. And this is maybe where some people will get stuck. So just for this one here, I will go a little slower and explain a little more if you want this one to look exactly like the illustrations. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is work out where is our blue, which we've already got that here. So we could possibly go, it is a straight cutoff, and I mean something just like that. Why just like that? Let's bring the plan in. Well, there is the ship above, and there is the planes. So we have, on this section here, we've already marked this over here, and we have another mark in front of it, which is where the blue starts to come down. So the only other mark we had was this one here, which is the cutoff for the blue. Yeah, and we definitely need that. So yeah, I'm just going to leave that sticker just like that. It was that easy. Just put a sticker on there nice and straight, bend it over the top, and that one's good to go. Why is that good to go? Well, moving forward from here, once we've sprayed the light blue, we would reverse this sticker to the other side to hold the blue, and then what's left is just the black. So that is the white and the black for the rear of the ship, which is the white, the blue, and the black, sorry, all the way up to this section here. So what's left now is only the front section. So we've already got all our markings for this. Let's continue on with this. So of course, what do we need first off? We need to know our distance of our camouflage first. And we've got all the marks there. It is about, I'm going to say 135, so it's a big sticker. And I would say, I don't know, make a sticker up of around 170 to start off with. So let's get our next sticker ready. There is our sticker. It's a little longer than what I needed. What did I make that? A bit over 200 either side, probably all up, probably 250. But we only want the centerpiece like that. Of course, let's put our starting line on there. Where is our starting line going to be? Well, we have to work back from here. And of course, I think the line we're going to need overall is going to be here. Actually, we put that special mark in there for a reason. That was to remind me that this line does too. Okay, so if we were to go backwards, let me just think about this for 1 second. Okay, I've had a really good look at this. So this is a blue line that comes from there, and this line was to sort of say that it comes down to here, and this is where our white line is. We have a little white line that comes up here. So we need an anchor point where to start the sticker from. I actually think that this one here would be a very good anchor point. So I'm going to mark that one a little longer, coming down. And I'll bring the plan in and show you. There is our plan. I'll try not to wobble the plan. I watched one of the other videos and I thought, gee, it's a little wobbly. So there is our these are not the superstructure. There's the structure where it drops down from that point there. And we have a secondary line here forward to say, where does the line come down to? And the line comes down, and that little line there is what I just marked. Why that one? Well, that's the only one where the white actually touches the ship. So I think that is the best one to say left or right. So we kind of need to work backwards a little bit from here. But we do have this side of the ship here. We know where this one is. This is already done. We just put the tape there and block that off. So I think from here, we should work forward and work this one out and start making up our grid. Now, remembering, we're not working with 12 mil anymore. We're now working with potentially 21. So we need to set our grids up. Let's do that. So there is our ship kind of on its side. We've got all our markings there. I did say we would go from, this whole sticker is about, what did I say? That was 135. But we do need to keep some of that blue, is that right? We've got plenty here. Let's go with 160 for our grid lines and work it from there. So of course we're going to put one line here to represent the back. Now I do think this will be a kind of hard sticker to do. Not the white section, but definitely the end section. The problem is you got kind of 1, 2, 3, 4 colors all mashing in together right here. When I say right here, I mean right here. So let's work forward for the minute and do these one at a time like we have been doing the whole ship. We got our first line in. Let's call our first line right here. Let's work out our next line. So from our 160 overall sticker, which is down here, our next line is actually 23. I just measured it. So now let's put 23 on here. And I do believe this will be a hard sticker. This is why I'm going to take this one a little slowly, just in case you want to do this one. There's our 23. Let's do that as well. Let's try and sharpen the pencil too. Okay, there's our 23 line on. Let's mark that off on the ship. The other thing I want to say too, you could probably put like a bit of a feather on this one here, because this also is the angle of the ship which goes just here. So it's also another place that we can line the sticker up. Of course, I'm doing this as I go just with you guys, and I'm learning it as I'm doing it. So there's that line there. Let's go to the next line. And of course, let's make sure that the lines don't stretch overall, because that's our first line at 23. Yeah, happy with that. So our next line will be, I'm going to call that 16. So let's put 16 on there. Kind of got a little lucky here. 16 is bang right on the grid line. So just using the grid lines, I can put that line in. Happy with that. Let's mark that line off. That one's done. Our next line. By the way, you want to double check that it's not growing. That is 39 all up. So it should be 39 down here. It's a little long. It's 39 and a half. I'm not going to worry about half a mil, but we have to keep that in mind. So that's those two. The next line is, I'm going to call that 32, but I'm also going to double check to make sure that's not stretching. So let's mark out 32 first. And our overall measurement, I do believe, is 71. So let's double check this for 71. And of course, if it's a little long, yeah, it's a little long. Let's bring that back. And this is how sometimes they get stretched. Yeah, pretty happy with that. Let's do that line there. Okay, there's our line. Let's mark that one off. I do believe this line here is where the white actually touches the ship or down to the waterline. And it's not a big line. It's going to be, I don't know, I'm going to call that 6 mil. Yeah, I reckon 6 mil. Yeah, sorry, I just got interrupted with a phone call. So yeah, about 6 mil. Let's put that on there as well. I also did notice the time. That time's getting on. Let's do an overall check of that line. It does look like it's 78 and a half. Not that I like to use halves. You've got 78 here, close enough. There's our line on there. Let's get rid of that one as well. Put a strike through it. Okay, the next line is the line we're going to use twice. I can't for the life of me remember off the top of my head, but I do know it's in there. That's going to be probably 6 mil as well. Let's do that, 6 mil. Yeah, and our overall measurement was 84, so we're still on line, very good. Okay, there's our line, and of course, let's mark that one off. And I do believe we only have 2 more left, so let's keep going with that. Okay. The next line is 44. Let's quickly mark that out. Overall, 129. I'm slightly under here. We can still keep that. Yeah, 129 there. Yep, very good. And again, this is worked out right on the grid. Let's use it. Okay. And our next line is, in fact, 29. How's that? overall being 158. Yeah, that works out well. Let's put that line on too. Okay, so there's our grid lines once again. Now, there's a couple of important lines here. I think this one is very important because we can most definitely use that to put the ship up. This line, not so important, which is this line here. What do we need now? So that's our lines for our markings out. Now we need our depth. Let's put our depth line in. Remember, we are working with a deeper part of the ship. So that is 21. There's that. There's our working grid. Okay. So if you're at this point, you're doing pretty good. So let's ignore our first line because that's telling us where this line here is. Our next line is where the white starts. And our next line across is where it also starts to come down. Let's get the drawing out so you know what I mean by that. There is the drawing. Let's use the pointer instead. So there's that white section I was telling you about, and all of this is all blue, so we don't have to worry about it too much. And obviously, level with the ship there is also important as well. So I do believe that is, I think it was almost 7.5 mil down to match the level with the top here. So that's our distance down, and we already know our distance across because we already had the line in there. So let's work that out. Yeah, was that right? Yes, that was right. So the first thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to put in that 7 mil line. I actually believe it was 7.5. So if I go there and there and there, and put a line there. We don't need it too long. We only need to go to here. So let's put one roughly here as well. So if we go on the line there, 5, 6, 7, and a bit there as well. Of course, we're going to eyeball this for this section, keeping it fairly level and straight. Check your rule the way across. Looks nice and straight. Let's put that line in. There we go. So that is our end of our ship, and this is where it kind of drops down from here onwards. And of course, yeah, this disappears and this becomes the ship. But let's not get too confused there. Let's work out the next one. So with the drawing here, this line that we just put in is actually this line here. See that line just through there? So from there, let's roll that back around a bit out of the light. It rolls across. We picked out where this line is, so it's straight across. But how far down is it? So we need this to know exactly how far down. Let's try and work that out. Okay. There's the paperwork, and the paperwork is actually sitting just on the bench, so I don't shake it. We need to know where this line is. There's a line that comes across here that actually is on the ship, and I think that's the line that we need. And that line is, I don't know, looks like it's a couple of mil up on the ship itself. So let's have a look at that. So I'm just here trying to work this out, and then I'm taking in the ship. I'm taking in the picture, I'm taking in the drawing, and saying to myself, what is going to look good? If you take the drawing, it's definitely a couple of mil there, and you want it noticeable. So I'm thinking if we stay on here, at least 2 mil up, then it will have a definite cut across and drop down. So I'm going to say 2 mils. So I'm going to put my 2 mil line in only the first box, because we do know these were 6 mil apart, 12 mil overall. It actually sounds like they would have done something pretty uniform anyway. And that's that. Now remembering this 6 mil was to go, actually you need to put that line almost right through. You do need to put that line right through. Why? Because that line then comes back and represents, is that a sharp line or a crooked line? Let's have a look. Hang on a second. Let's zoom in. Let's zoom in a little more. Yeah. Well, that's actually not a very sharp line. And it is probably a fraction higher. We could have gone a fraction higher with that to allow for the blue. Let's do that. Let's go an extra 1 mil on this line over here to kind of give us that fin, I suppose. If you look from here, this could be at the bottom of a boat and with like a fin down here, kind of looking like it. Obviously, you've got to have some imagination for that. But that is like a fin, and that's what we want. So I'm not going to give you a measurement here. You can do whatever you want. I'm just going to eyeball that and sort of say I want from here to here bigger, because I've got to split this in two, and I reckon that will be just the right amount to split it. There'll be just enough line in there to have two lines, trying to keep that camouflage in there. So I'm happy with that. Now, what do we have to do here? We need to curve that down around here to create that fin. The camera's kind of in my way for here, so I'm going to do that quickly offline. And if you're like me and not happy with it, you rub it out and do it again. Yeah, that's better. Nope, still not happy with that. Hang on. I'm not happy with it because it's a pretty prominent round section. So I need something that's kind of shallow round. Let's try one of those containers again. Now I know you're just off the screen, but I do believe the container was just the right amount of roundness that I wanted, that I could not hand draw in. And of course, that's kind of like a fin. Let's go back. And obviously I would fix this line up just a smidgen. Smidgen, there's a new word for you. And then obviously we're going to pick up the line from the other side. Doing a lot of this one on camera so you know exactly what I'm talking about. So we know we've got to pick up that line and back to there. Let's do that as well. And what we kind of end up with, if you chop that off, there's that fin I was telling you about. So it comes kind of around, across, up and back. And of course, this is all to keep the white here. So this section here will be chopped out. And I sort of raised this one up a little higher because I got to try and put two lines in here afterwards. That's not going to be easy to do. In actual fact, I'm probably going to duplicate this because I think there's another sticker after this. So I'm going to keep these lines so I know what I'm talking about. Okay, so we are near the end of this sticker. So what do we have here? We have, so it comes along, which it is here, and then it kind of comes upwards, kind of like that. It is a nice round section, so you could get something fairly big that's round there. Comes up like that. Or if you're confident in your freehand, yeah, happy with that. Kind of does shoot up, that's for sure. Let's do a bit more there. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Can you see that? Oh, you're on that side. Okay. Sorry about that. And then it kind of has a very sharp nose around almost like here, touching this one. And of course, you can play with that kind of nose section whatever you want. And I do believe the only measurement we did not get here was where that white line finishes and the grey starts. So let's grab that line very quickly. What are we looking at there? Let's get the drawing out. Okay, there's the drawing. Let's zoom in. What do we got here? What telltale sign do we have here? Look like those ports all finished there. Looks like they do. So we need got 1, 2, 3 and something there. What's there? 1, 2, 3. They look like portholes anyway. There's nothing else up there. But But that does look like 1, 2, 3, 4 from the end. So if we go back to the ship, okay, let's try that. Is that right? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe. Let's have a look. Well, I was just looking at this. Now, if that's correct, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that would have came from there, up around and back this way. That would say that line finishes 1, 2, 3, 4 about there, which would put that somewhere there. Comes across. Here we came across from there, up like that, around, back and up. Yeah, it's possible. Let's have a look. There's the plane where we start from. This is where we curved it, up, around, and yes, it does go back further from where we curved it from. So that makes a lot of sense. Let's put that on the paperwork, on the sticker. I know the ship's just out of view, or just in view, either way you want to put it. I reckon that line is 116 from our start line. So let's put that in there. Okay. There's our sticker. 116. Where are we? 110, 15, 16. Right about there somewhere. Let's have a look. Yeah, that definitely makes sense. But what I'm going to say though is this is going to come up and around a little more. If you're not sure with this, just keep colouring it in until you get it right. Obviously have a rubber nearby, and yeah, so this kind of comes up from here now in a nice sweeping motion. If you can't do the sweeping motion, grab something really big like a plate, because it is a very shallow line, and kind of put the plate there, which will have a bend in it up to there. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to do that too. Well, there's my plate. It has a sweeping motion in it, just as long as the lines are going to hit right. The camera's kind of in my way a little bit here. Let's come up a little bit that way, back that way, come around. Yeah, sweeping motion, just like that. That'll do it. And that's kind of like that finger that we were talking about before. Let's bring the plan back and have a look. There's the plan. When I say finger, it's kind of like if you were to point your finger out. It kind of does. It kind of looks like a bent finger that's sticking out. And there it is. And of course, if you're not happy with it, or you want a little bit, less here, I do think this is probably still a bit too much of a curve. You can then go back, fill this line in until you're happy with it. You know where it starts, you know where it ends. What's above that? The dark grey anyway. So yeah, it's really up to yourself what you want to do there. I'm probably gonna bring that line back. So you would need, to get a straighter line, you need something bigger basically. I might even try an even bigger plate, just to see how it goes. But I've just noticed the time. So we've almost got the sticker done, but not enough to get the entire front done. We're still going to need one more episode to finish that off. So I think what we'll do is we're going to call it on this one. We've almost got our, what is that, 1, 2, 3, third sticker done. And we'll need one more at the end of this ship. Obviously, clearly the right side, the starboard side, is obviously a bit harder. And yeah, anyway, let's catch you on the next episode. And bye for now.